She pranked me by saying she wanted a divorce for a TikTok challenge. I signed the papers for real. That was the clip people kept replaying. Not on her channel, her lawyers made sure of that eventually, but in my head. The moment she sat across from me, looked me straight in the eye and said, "I don't love you anymore, I want a divorce," with a hidden camera pointed at my face, waiting for the meltdown. She wanted tears, she got clarity. But if you'd told me that night 3 years earlier, when I first saw her filming herself at the bar, that I'd end up as a bit in someone's content strategy, I would have laughed. Back then, Bella was just the loudest laugh in the room. We met at a friend's birthday at this trendy bar downtown in Austin. I was there under protest, dragged out of my comfortable one-bedroom and my quiet Friday by my buddy Josh. "You never go out," he'd said. "You're 32, not 70. Come have a drink, talk to humans who aren't on your project management software." I'm a software engineer. We're not famous for being extroverts. I like my routines. My job, my gym, my books, my once-a-week poker game. I had an Instagram with exactly 12 posts, all of them either my dog or sunsets. Bella was the opposite of that. I noticed her because she kept standing up on the bench to adjust her phone on this little tripod, talking into the camera like there wasn't a room full of people around her. "Okay, you guys, we are celebrating my girl Tia's 27th tonight. Look at her. Look how hot she looks." She turned the camera on a woman in a sparkly dress, who posed automatically, like she'd done this 100 times. Later, when the DJ took a break, Bella sat on a bar stool scrolling through her phone, editing something, lip caught between her teeth. I was next to her ordering another soda water. She glanced up at me. "You look miserable," she said cheerfully. "This is my happy face," I said. She laughed. It was a good laugh, full, unself-conscious. "You don't drink." "Sometimes," I said. "Not when I have to drive half an hour back to Round Rock." "Responsible king," she said, raising her margarita in acknowledgement. "I'm Bella." "Tom," I said. "You on TikTok, Tom?" she asked. "No," I said. She put a hand to her chest in mock offense. Wow, a man of mystery in 2022. "I like my privacy," I said. "Must be nice," she said, half joking, half something else. "I basically live on there, it's my job." "What do you do?" I asked. "Content creator," she said automatically. When my face stayed blank, she added, "Brand deals, UGC, that kind of thing. I do lifestyle stuff. Couples content sometimes." "Couples content," I repeated. "You interview random people." "No, like," she waved her hand. "You've seen those cute videos, right? Pranks, routines, day in the life with my man, all that." "I must have missed that side of the internet," I said. She laughed again. "You're funny." We ended up talking most of the night, about everything but the internet. Family, TV shows, her dream of moving out of her crappy apartment and into a house with a big kitchen, just for filming. My fantasy of living somewhere no one could see into my windows. "I could never," she said. "I'd die if no one was watching." It sounded like hyperbole then. She liked that I didn't know who half the influencers she mentioned were. I liked that she made eye contact and asked questions, and seemed genuinely interested in something as boring as my description of our codebase. We started dating. At first, the social media thing was background noise. She'd film snippets of our dates, our hands clinking glasses, the dessert plate, a quick pan across my face if I let her. She always asked back then. "Can I post this?" she'd say, phone already up. "As long as I don't have spinach in my teeth," I'd joke. She'd kiss my cheek and show me the clip. If I hated it, she'd delete it. Simple. Her followers liked Tom. They called me soft boyfriend because I brought her snacks when she was editing late or picked her up from shoots. She showed me the comments sometimes, laughing. "Look, they think you're out of my league," she'd say, grinning. "That's because they haven't heard me snore," I'd reply. I didn't love being on her page, but I loved her. I figured it was harmless. You learn later what you should have seen at the start. We got married a year and a half in. Small ceremony in her parents' backyard, fairy lights, a rented arch, a friend of hers live streaming the whole thing for her followers. They feel like they're here, she said, watching the hearts float up the screen after we said our vows. I felt like I was splitting myself. One part in front of my friends and family, one part in front of thousands of strangers holding their phones. Still, it was good at first. She hit a growth spurt on TikTok right around our first anniversary. A day in the life of a Latina wife in tech money video went viral. It was mostly her making coffee, cleaning, meeting me for lunch, dropping affiliate links to her robe and our coffee machine. Brands noticed. Her emails doubled, then tripled. She started talking about scaling. She bought a ring light that lived permanently in our living room. "We're in the content game now," she said, practically vibrating. "This is it. This is my moment." I was happy for her, really. She'd been grinding for years, posting 3-4 times a day for peanuts. It was nice to see her finally make decent money doing something she cared about. The problem wasn't that she became successful. The problem was that somewhere between 10,000 followers and 500,000, I stopped being a person and became a character. The first time I realized something was off was stupidly small. I was in the kitchen on a Saturday morning, hair a mess, old college t-shirt on, making pancakes. Bella shuffled in, phone in hand, hitting record before she'd fully opened her eyes. "Good morning, besties," she said, pointing the camera at me. "Look at this. I woke up like this and my man is already slaving away in the kitchen." I smiled at the lens out of habit, flipped a pancake, did the little wave she liked. She turned the camera on herself. "Ignore his bedhead, he looks like a sad golden retriever today," she laughed. I winced internally. Sad golden retriever. Comments came to mind. "Girl, he's so ugly, but at least he cooks." She's carrying this relationship fr. "Babe," I said quietly when she put the phone down, "can we not do the he's ugly jokes, even if it's for content?" "Oh my God, you're so sensitive," she said, reaching for a mug. "It's just banter. They love it when we roast each other." "I don't," I said. "Love it, I mean." She rolled her eyes. "You're fine, you know I think you're hot." I let it go. It was one line, a throwaway joke, not worth a fight over pancakes. Then the video went up. One of my coworkers, Amir, stopped by my desk on Monday. "Dude," he said, smirking, "Bella's got you on blast." "What?" I asked. He pulled out his phone and opened TikTok. There I was, in my t-shirt, hair sticking up, flipping pancakes. The caption read, "POV, your 6'10" husband makes up for it by cooking you breakfast." The sound she'd used was some trending audio of a woman saying, "He's all right." Most of the comments were laughing emojis, people saying she was too real. A few hit harder. "He's deaf punching above his weight." "Why do bad bitches always pick plain dudes?" "He looks like he smells like it." I closed the app. I felt stupid. Exposed, like I'd walked into a room thinking it was just us and found out there was a crowd snickering in the corner. That night I brought it up again. "See, this is what I mean," I said, holding out my phone. "These comments, you invited strangers to rate me." She was in bed, scrolling through analytics. She barely glanced at the screen. "They're just trolls," she said. "Why do you care what some random 17-year-old in Idaho thinks?" "Because you handed me to them," I said. She sighed, finally looking up. "Tom, this is my job. People like honesty. They relate more when you're not perfect. It's part of the brand." "I didn't sign up to be part of the brand," I said. "I signed up to be your husband." She pursed her lips. "We're a package deal now. That's how couples content works." "Maybe I don't want to be content," I said. She rolled onto her back, staring at the ceiling. "You sound unsupportive." That word, it's a favorite in influencer world. It's the trump card. No one wants to be the unsupportive partner who held them back. I support you, I said evenly. I also want some basic respect. Those two things aren't mutually exclusive. She didn't answer. She turned off the lamp instead. That was incident 1. Incident 2 was worse. We had a dumb argument about the thermostat, classic married couple nonsense. I like it cold at night, she gets chilly. I'd nudged it down a degree. She'd noticed in the middle of editing. Why is it always your way? She snapped, stomping into the living room. You know I get migraines when it's this cold. I moved it 1 degree, I said from the couch. You can put on socks. That's not the point, she said, already louder. You don't consider me. We went back and forth for a few minutes, both of us a little sharper than we needed to be. Nothing crazy. No name-calling. Just 2 tired people sniping. The next day at lunch, my phone buzzed. Josh. Bro, you okay? Face with raised eyebrow. I frowned, texted back, yeah, why? He sent a link, TikTok. I opened it and immediately felt my stomach drop. The caption, when your husband gaslights you over the thermostat, married life toxic. She'd clipped bits of our argument, edited to a trending audio. She'd put text over my face, says he loves you, and over her, freezing at 68 degrees. She'd cut out anything that made her look unreasonable and left in my worst tone. The comments were exactly what you'd expect. Divorce him, girl. He's emotionally abusive, leave. Men like this are why I'm single. Emotionally abusive, over a thermostat. I called her. What the hell is this? I asked, holding the phone away so I wouldn't shout. What? She said, distracted. I could hear kitchen noise in the background. You posted our argument, I said, and called me toxic. It was funny, she said. It's relatable content. Everyone fights about stupid stuff. You didn't say we fight about this, I said. You said I gaslight you, that I'm toxic. Because you are sometimes, she said, voice flattening. You make me think I'm crazy when I have needs. No, I said slowly. I say put on socks when you're cold because I can't sleep when it's hot. That's not gaslighting, Bella. That's compromise. She clicked her tongue. You get so hung up on words, it's just TikTok. It's my reputation, I said. You're telling hundreds of thousands of people I'm emotionally abusive. Does that mean anything to you? She paused. If you didn't want to look bad, maybe don't act bad, she said finally. I went quiet. That was a line right there. Something simple clicked in my brain. Not a switch yet. Just a light coming on in a corner I'd been avoiding. That's the last time you post an argument, I said, my voice very calm. I'm serious. Or what? She scoffed. We'll find out, I said, but I'm done being the villain in your stories. She hung up on me. That night I slept on the edge of the bed, turned away from her glowing screen. Incident 3 involved a knife. Not a real one, but my body didn't know that at the time. I walked in from work one evening, juggling my laptop bag and a grocery sack. The house was dim. The only light came from the kitchen, flickering like a candle. Bella, I called. Silence. I set the bags down slowly. The hairs on the back of my neck prickled. Stupid, I know. This is suburban Texas, not a horror movie, but something was off. I stepped into the hallway. As I passed the guest bathroom, someone jumped out, screaming, wearing a cheap rubber mask and holding what looked, in that first half-second, exactly like a knife. I dropped the grocery bag. Ken's hit the tile. My heart slammed against my ribs. I stumbled back so fast I hit the wall. Then the mask came off. Babe, Bella gasped, laughing so hard she nearly doubled over. Oh my God, your face, I got you so good. I stood there, breathing like I'd just sprinted a mile, adrenaline buzzing. Jesus, I said finally, what the hell? She pointed toward the corner where her phone was propped up on the console table, red recording light on. It's a prank, she said between laughs. It's a trend. Scaring my husband half to death, that's literally the sound. I stared at the camera, then at her. "Delete it," I said. "Oh, come on," she said. "You can't be mad, it was just a joke." "I'm not mad," I said. "I'm asking you to delete it." She pouted. "It's going to do numbers. Look at you, you look like you saw a ghost." "I thought I saw a knife," I said flatly. "I don't like having weapons pulled on me, even fake ones. Delete it." She hesitated, lower lip between her teeth. I could see the calculation. Views versus boundaries. Algorithm versus husband. Then she sighed dramatically. "Fine," she said. She walked over, stopped the recording, and hit delete. "Happy?" she asked. "Relieved," I said. The next day, a slightly different angle of the same moment went up on her friend Tia's page. Same mask, same scream. My flinch from the side. Caption: Bella got him good face #prank wars. She'd airdropped it to Tia. Just in case, she'd written in the group chat I wasn't supposed to know about. That night when I confronted her, she said, "It's not even on my page. You're overreacting." Overreacting, gaslighting, unsupportive, the vocabulary of dismissal. That was when I stopped arguing in circles and started taking notes. I opened a folder on my computer and titled it Receipts. It held screenshots of her posts about me, text threads of me clearly saying, "Do not post this," and her acknowledging and doing it anyway. Clips, dates, captions where she called me controlling, emotionally abusive, toxic. Not because I wanted to sue her yet, because I felt like I was being slowly boiled, and I needed something objective to look at so I'd know I wasn't crazy. I also booked a therapy appointment for myself, not couples, just me. My therapist, a woman in her 40s named Carla, listened as I described Bella's content, the way she talked to me, the comment sections. "I keep wondering if I'm actually this horrible," I admitted. "Like, maybe I am controlling and I just don't see it." "What do you do when you don't want to be in a video?" she asked. "I say no," I said. "She records anyway, or she records me from behind or the side and says I'm being dramatic." "And when you ask her not to post private arguments," Carla asked. "She says I'm trying to censor her and that I don't support her career," I said. Carla nodded slowly. "Tom, wanting your partner not to broadcast your worst moments for profit is not control. It's a boundary." "I feel like a grumpy old man yelling at the internet," I said. "You feel like a person who values privacy living with someone whose self-worth is tied to strangers' attention," she said. "That's a structural mismatch, not a character flaw." "That mismatch wasn't this extreme when we met," I said. "People scale up," she said gently. "Whatever was there at the beginning tends to grow with success. Fame, even small-scale fame, amplifies traits." I left her office with my shoulders a little heavier and my spine a little straighter. You can be sad and clear at the same time. Incident 4 was the one that bled into my job. Bella posted a story time. Story time about the time my husband almost cost me a brand deal because he was being a hater. She sat in her car, ring light clipped to the visor, telling her followers about how I'd forbidden her from posting a sponsored video because it showed our messy bedroom. In reality, I'd asked her not to post a paid ad that showed my work laptop screen open on a client's code. She called me paranoid, said I didn't get it because I worked a boring 9 to 5 and didn't understand taking risks for your dreams. She mentioned my employer by name, full name, logo on the hoodie I was wearing in the background of some B-roll she used. A week later, my manager called me into his office. "So," he said, half awkward, half amused, "my wife showed me your wife's TikTok last night. Is everything okay at home?" Heat crawled up my neck. "She has a content channel," I muttered. "Sometimes she exaggerates things for engagement. I didn't actually almost cost her a brand deal. I asked her not to film client code for security reasons." He raised his eyebrows. "Yeah, that was my concern." He cleared his throat. Off the record, Tom, I don't care what your wife posts as long as it doesn't create privacy or PR issues for us. But you might want to ask her not to mention the company by name when she's slagging you off. It's not a great look. I understand, I said. I'll talk to her. I walked out of that office with my jaw clenched so hard it hurt. That night, I didn't bring it up like a wounded animal. I brought it up like someone holding a ledger. You put my job on your page, I said, standing in the doorway of her office/studio while she rearranged throw pillows for a shot. You're welcome, she said breezily. Free clout. My manager saw it, I said. He now thinks my marriage is a circus and my judgment is questionable. She rolled her eyes. If he's that fragile, that's on him. This isn't about fragility, I said. This is about you using my employer's name while you call me unsupportive and controlling. That's defamation territory. She snorted. Oh my God, now you're a lawyer. I talked to one, I said. That got her attention. She stopped fluffing the pillow. You what? She asked. I talked to a lawyer, I repeated. About my rights. About being recorded without consent in my own home and having private conversations edited and posted for money. About you calling me emotionally abusive and naming where I work. Her face went through 3 colors. You're threatening to sue me, she said slowly. I'm protecting myself, I said, different word. You would ruin me, she said, voice shaking now. This is my career. No, I said, you're ruining us. I'm trying to get out with minimal damage. She backed up, bumping into her ring light. It wobbled. You hate what I do, she said. You've always hated it. I filmed your first brand deal on my day off, I said, baffled. I built you that cabinet for your PR boxes. I hate being exploited. That's not the same thing. She stared at me, eyes shiny. Then slowly she reached for her phone. Fine, she said. I'll be more careful. I won't show your job or whatever. Happy. Partial credit, I said. I also want no more posting arguments. No more calling me abusive, toxic, or controlling online. If you have a problem with me, bring it to me, not your followers. I need to be real with them, she said. Authenticity is part of my brand. Then be real about you, I said, not about me. She swallowed. This is my livelihood, she said again, softer. And this is my life, I said. I'm not asking permission. I'm telling you where the line is. She nodded slowly. Okay, she said. Fine, no more fights online. Happy now. I wanted to believe her. I really did. For a couple of weeks, it even seemed like she meant it. The content shifted to get ready with me's, hauls, vague, marriage is hard, voiceovers that didn't mention me by name. Then came the prank that ended it. There's always some stupid couples challenge trending, switching outfits with my boyfriend, ignoring my fiancé for 24 hours, cheating prank gone wrong. This one was called Divorce Prank on Husband. The format was simple and mean. Wife sits husband down, tells him she doesn't love him anymore, wants a divorce, films his reaction, then screams, "It's a prank," and laughs while he cries. I'd seen 1 or 2 scroll past on my For You page when I opened TikTok to check on a music clip. I'd swiped past them with a knot in my stomach, thinking, I hope she never sees this trend. She did. I came home on a Tuesday around 6. The house was unusually tidy. Counters wiped, pillows arranged just so, candles lit. Her camera wasn't in its usual spot in the living room. Her ring light was off. Hey, she called from the dining room. You're home early. Traffic was light, I said, dropping my keys in the bowl. What's all this? The table was set for 2. Real plates, not the mismatched ones we usually grabbed. She'd even taken the plastic off the good candles her aunt had given us. Thought we could have a nice dinner, she said. No cameras. A month earlier, that sentence would have relaxed me. That night it pinged something. No cameras, said 2 specifically. We ate takeout she de-arranged on plates, Chinese. She picked at her food more than she ate it. You okay? I asked finally. You're quiet." She took a deep breath, set her fork down, folded her hands. Classic serious talk posture. "Can you look at me?" she asked. I did, brown eyes, lined and mascaraed, shining a little in the candlelight. "I need to tell you something," she said, voice trembling just enough that if I hadn't known her, I would have thought it was nerves, not performance. "I don't love you anymore. I want a divorce." The words hung there. My first reaction wasn't shock, it was assessment. Her gaze flicked for a fraction of a second to the corner of the room where one of her fake plants sat, specifically to the lower shelf next to it, where a decorative bowl now held nothing. The faintest reflection of a phone camera glowed there, hidden among the ceramic and leaves, angle perfect for the table. I felt my face go very still. She waited. In the past, I would have scrambled. I would have said, "What? Where is this coming from?" I would have tried to fix it, would have poured myself out on the table in front of her. Instead, something very simple clicked. This is the line. Not the divorce part. People fall out of love. That's painful, but it happens. What made it a line was the fact that she'd turned that sentence into a prop. She needed my reaction more than she needed the truth. "Okay," I said. Her forehead creased. "Okay," she repeated, thrown. "Okay," I said again, standing up. My chair scraped quietly against the floor. I didn't flip the table. I didn't beg. I pushed my plate in a little, the way I always do when I'm done. She stared up at me. "That's it," she asked. "You're not even going to fight for us." "You just told me you don't love me and want a divorce," I said calmly. "What exactly would you like me to fight for?" She opened her mouth, then shut it. Her eyes darted to the plant again, quick, panicked. "It's she said, voice wobbling now for real. "It's a prank, it's just." I looked straight at the plant, at the camera. "Of course it is," I said. "Everything is." Color drained from her face. "Tom, I walked over to the shelf, picked up her phone. The recording timer on the screen read 02:17. I looked at myself in the tiny digital preview. Calm, tired, done. Then I hit stop. I set the phone down face up on the table between us. "You got your reaction," I said, "just not the one you wanted." Tears filled her eyes. "Baby, it was just—" "Don't baby me," I said quietly. "You used the sentence, 'I don't love you anymore,' as a content idea." "It's trending," she said weakly. "I thought." "You thought maybe I'd cry on camera," I finished. "Maybe beg, it'd be great for engagement. Real raw emotion." Her lower lip trembled. "It's not like that," she said. "Different word," I said. "It's exactly like that." "I was going to tell you right away," she said, talking faster now. "I wasn't going to let it go on. It's just, you've been so cold lately, and I thought maybe if you saw how you'd react." "No," I said. "Don't rewrite this. You didn't do this for us. You did it for numbers." She swallowed. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I thought you'd laugh after. Everyone's doing it with their husbands. They think it's hilarious." "Then they're idiots too," I said. "But I'm not laughing." We can just delete it," she said, reaching for the phone. "Like the knife thing, it's gone. No one has to see it." "I'm sure it's already backed up to the cloud," I said. "But you're missing the point." She blinked. "What point?" "That in your head there was even a debate," I said. "That the idea tell my husband I don't love him for a joke made it past the first firewall. That you looked at a trend like this and thought, yes, I want to do that to the man I married." She covered her face with her hands. "You're making it sound so awful." "It is awful," I said. "The fact that you can't see that is why this is done." She lowered her hands slowly. "What do you mean, done?" she whispered. "I mean I'm going to a lawyer in the morning," I said. "No camera this time, no script, just signatures." You're leaving me," she said, like it hadn't occurred to her that divorce talk could have that direction. "You just asked me for a divorce," I said. "I'm agreeing." "It was a prank," she said again, voice rising now. "You know I don't mean it." Words mean things, I said. You can't wave a ring light over them and call it healing. You've called me abusive and controlling in front of 500,000 people. You've turned our life into a monetizable soap opera. Now you've crossed into weaponizing the end of our marriage as a bit. Tears spilled over. I'll delete everything, she said. I swear, I'll stop posting you. I'll get a real job. We can go to therapy. Please don't do this. I held her gaze. I tried to summon the old instinct to fix. It didn't come. I'm not punishing you, I said softly. I'm protecting myself. Choices have invoices. This is yours. You're heartless, she spat suddenly, the switch from pleading to attacking as quick as a sound change on her editing app. You were just waiting for a reason to leave. You never supported me. I filmed your first wedding vlog intro 6 times until you liked your angle, I said. I learned your favorite filters. I did the little dances, remember? I supported you until supporting you meant sacrificing my dignity. That's where I tap out. She stood up so fast the chair tipped. I'll tell everyone you're abandoning me, she said, that you left for some other girl. They'll hate you. Maybe they will, I said. Maybe they won't, but they won't be my problem anymore. I walked to the bedroom, pulled my overnight bag from the closet. I didn't pack everything. Just a few changes of clothes, my laptop, my toothbrush, the folder of receipts I'd been keeping. In the hallway, she grabbed my arm. You're really going, she said, voice small now, over this. This is just the invoice, I said. The balance has been adding up for a long time. You can't just walk away, she said. We're married. I know, I said. That's why I'm doing it with a lawyer, not a rage tweet. She let go. I walked past the fake plant, past the shelf that had become a tripod, past the life I'd been a supporting character in. I didn't slam the door. I just closed it behind me gently and drove to Josh's. He opened the door in sweatpants and a t-shirt, a game controller in his hand. You look like hell, he said, stepping aside. What happened? Long or short version? I asked, dropping my bag just inside. He glanced at me, then at the bag. How many nights worth of clothes? A few, I said. Long version, he said. Come on in. We sat on his couch. I told him about the prank. His face went from amused to horrified in under 30 seconds. Bro, he said, that's psychotic. She'd say it's just content, I said. She told you she doesn't love you to your face for likes, he said. That's not content, that's cruelty. I'm done, I said. I mean it this time. You going to a lawyer? He asked. 8 a.m., I said. Same woman I talked to a few months ago. I emailed her from my car. He nodded. You can stay here as long as you need, he said. You want me to change the Netflix password so she can't watch on my account out of spite? I smiled faintly, one step at a time. The next morning, I sat across from Melissa again, the same lawyer who'd warned me about defamation the first time. You look calmer than most people who just walked out on their marriage, she said, studying me. I think I left about a year ago, I said. My body just caught up. I told her about the divorce prank, about the camera, about my response. She shook her head. I wish I could say I hadn't heard worse, she said, but this is up there. What are my options? I asked. I want out cleanly, and I want my face off her platforms. She tapped her pen against her legal pad. 2 tracks, she said, family and civil. Go on, I said. Family, we file for divorce, she said. No kids, community property state, both of you work. That part is straightforward enough, though her brand complicates valuation a bit. Civil, we address the content. You have a strong case for misappropriation of likeness and invasion of privacy, possibly defamation, depending on exact wording in those videos. I slid the folder of screenshots across the desk. I've been keeping records, I said. She flipped through, paused at a clip of Bella calling me emotionally abusive, with our company logo visible on my hoodie. Yeah, she said, this is not great for her. Do I have to actually sue her? I asked. Or can I just make her take it all down? Best case, we send a cease and desist and a demand letter, she said. We give her a deadline to remove all content featuring you and stop mentioning you or your employer. If she complies, we can fold that into the divorce settlement and not go nuclear. If she refuses or continues, we file a lawsuit. Judges are not typically amused by people turning their spouses into unwilling content for profit. Wouldn't suing her just feed the drama? I asked, picturing YouTube thumbnails. And why husband is suing me? It might initially, she said, but a court order has more teeth than a comment section. This is about your long-term peace, not your short-term optics. I nodded. Do it, I said. You're sure? She asked. Once we file, it's hard to walk it back emotionally, even if we settle. I was married to a camera, I said. I need it turned off. She smiled tightly. All right then, let's turn it off. She drafted the letters that day. I signed the divorce petition. By that afternoon, Bella had been served at our house. She called me 5 times in a row. I let it go to voicemail. Finally, she texted. You sued me. I replied. You recorded me without consent, misrepresented me as abusive to hundreds of thousands of people, and used divorce as a joke. Actions. Consequences. 2 minutes later, she FaceTimed. I answered, more out of curiosity than anything. Her face filled the screen. No makeup. Eyes swollen, not for the camera this time, or if it was, she'd forgotten to turn on the filter. How could you do this? She demanded. Serve me like some stranger. You are some stranger, I said, at least to the person I thought I married. There were other ways, she said. We could have talked, we could have done counseling. You went nuclear. I talked, I said, for months. You turned the conversations into content. I set boundaries. You turned them into jokes. This is me finally matching the scale of your disrespect. She shook her head, hair swinging. You're going to ruin my career. I'm asking you to stop monetizing me, I said. If your entire career depends on my unwilling participation, maybe it deserves to be ruined. My audience will side with me, she said. They've seen how you are. They've seen how you've edited me to be, I said. And even if they don't, they're not my jury. A judge is. She sniffed. You're so cold. I matched temperature, I said. We've been in an icebox for a while. Please, she said, voice dropping. Just talk to me off camera. No lawyers, no threats, just us. There is no off camera with you, I said. Even now, I have no way of knowing if you're screen recording this for a later story time. I'm not, she protested. You've burned through your credibility, I said. I'm not asking permission, I'm done. I hung up. She did exactly what I knew she'd do next. She went online. A day later, my friend sent me a link. She posted, he wrote, you might not want to watch this, but you probably should. The video was titled, My Husband Left Me Over a Prank. She sat on the same couch we used to watch movies on, hoodie up, no makeup, tears streaming. The classic YouTube apology setup repurposed as a victim monologue. I just want to tell my side, she said, voice wobbling. Everyone's sending me hate, saying I'm a monster, and you don't know what it's like to be married to someone like him. She described the prank. She left out the hidden camera. She left out the months of content at my expense. She said I'd always been cold, that I never supported her dreams, that I'd been threatening to leave for ages, like a storm cloud she had to film her way around. She said I filed a lawsuit to silence her, that I was trying to ruin a Latina woman's small business. She framed it as a power play, as abuse. The comments were split. Some of her followers ate it up. Men always can't handle being the butt of the joke. He's definitely a narcissist, I can just tell. Stay strong, queen, you don't need him. But there were others, people who'd watched enough of our dynamic over the years to sense the pattern. Why would you joke about divorce, though? If my husband told me he didn't love me as a prank, I'd be gone too. Girl, you've been airing him out online for years. This ain't it. Someone even stitched the video with a compilation of her calling me toxic, abusive, laughing at my reactions in old clips. He's not perfect, the creator said, but you've been using this man as content without his consent for a long time. Actions have consequences. My lawyer sent me a link to that one with a simple, "The internet is unpredictable." We filed the complaint anyway. I won't bore you with every detail of the legal process. It's mostly waiting rooms and paperwork and emails with subject lines like "Ray, meet and confer." She hired a lawyer who specialized in influencer law, which I hadn't known was a thing. They tried to argue that I'd implicitly consented to being filmed by staying with her. Melissa responded with time-stamped messages of me saying things like, "Do not post this," and her acknowledging and ignoring it. She attached clips of Bella calling me abusive, manipulating the thermostat fight story, mentioning my employer by name. We asked for 3 things. 1, that she remove all existing content featuring me. 2, that she be barred from posting about me, my job, or our relationship going forward. 3, damages for defamation and misappropriation of likeness. Damages? Josh asked when I told him. Like money. Like money, I said. I don't care about the amount, it's the principle, choices, invoices. You gonna use the check to buy a cabin in the woods, he joked. Tempting, I said. While the lawyers did their dance, life went on. I found a small apartment 10 minutes from my office. 1 bedroom, beige walls, loud neighbors. It was mine. There were no tripods in the corners. The first night there, I set my phone on the nightstand and stared at the ceiling. No camera, no ring light glow, no whispered voiceovers, just the hum of the AC and the occasional muffled TV through the wall. I slept like someone had taken a 100-pound camera off my chest. At work, people gave me that careful, sidelong look reserved for coworkers going through something. A few approached. "Hey, if you ever need to talk," Amir said, trailing off. "I appreciate it," I said. "I'm okay." "Bella posted some stuff," another coworker said one day, awkward. "My girlfriend showed me. About you. Just want you to know we know there are 2 sides to everything." "Thanks," I said. "There's also a 3rd side, which is the court record. That's the one I'm banking on." Slowly, the immediate drama faded. Bella kept posting, but the content changed. Less couple stuff, more solo healing journey content. Crystals, journaling, day in my life post-divorce. She framed herself as a woman wronged, rebuilding. She also quietly took down the old videos with me in them. Her lawyer had advised her it was the prudent move. If she didn't want to fight a long, expensive battle she might lose. We ended up settling before trial. The settlement was simple, and in my opinion more than fair. She agreed, in writing under court order, to remove all existing content featuring me and refrain from posting about me, directly or indirectly, in the future. No more story times. No more vague "my ex" rants that were clearly about me. She issued a statement, not a tearful video, just a text post, saying she'd crossed boundaries in the past by sharing parts of her marriage without consent, and that she was committed to doing better. It wasn't an apology I'd frame and hang on my wall, but it was something. She paid a modest sum in damages, nothing life-changing, enough to symbolize that my likeness had value she'd exploited without permission. We finalized the divorce around the same time. In the county clerk's office, signing the last of the papers, she wouldn't look at me. When the clerk handed us the stamped copies, Bella shoved hers into her bag and walked out without a word. I watched her go. No cameras followed. No one shouted, "Cut." It was the most real moment we'd had in a long time. A month later, a friend sent me a link to one of her new videos. "She's doing soft life content now," the friend wrote, "all about boundaries and privacy." I didn't click. I didn't need to see the rebrand. I'd already lived the original. 6 months after it all, life was normal, blessedly so. I'd gotten used to the quiet of my apartment. Saturday mornings were for making pancakes in peace, no one rating my appearance for strangers. I went to the gym regularly. I picked up woodworking again, something I dropped when our living room turned into a studio. I deleted TikTok from my phone, kept Instagram for the dog pics. My world shrank mercifully back to a size my nervous system could handle. I met someone new eventually. Sophia worked in HR at a different company in our building. We'd ridden the elevator together for months before we actually spoke beyond morning. One day, the elevator got stuck between floors for 10 minutes, nothing like mild panic to force conversation. We bonded over the building's terrible ventilation, then over coffee, then over shared playlists. It wasn't some cinematic meet cute, it was simple, human. On our third date over tacos, she asked, "So why'd you get divorced?" Not nosy, just direct. I thought about giving a sanitized version. We grew apart, different values, all technically true. Instead, I said, my ex turned our marriage into content. Sophia frowned. Like blogs, she asked. Like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, I said. She recorded me without consent, shared our fights, used me as a character. It escalated, ended with a divorce prank for a trend. Sophia blinked. She told you she wanted a divorce as a prank. On camera, I said, hidden, waiting for me to cry. What did you do? She asked. I said, okay, I said, and left. She stared at me for a second, then she let out a low whistle. Damn, she said, that's awful, I'm sorry. Thank you, I said. I'm mostly past it now, but I have some lines around privacy. Fair, she said. She picked up her phone, turned its screen up on the table. For what it's worth, I'm pretty offline. I have Insta, but it's like 8 followers, all cousins. I hate being photographed when I'm not ready, let alone posted without consent. That's refreshing, I said. If we get serious, she added, I'd ask before I posted you. Every time, that's just basic respect, right? Right, I said. We kept seeing each other, slowly, intentionally. She never once whipped out her phone mid-argument. When we disagreed, it stayed in the room, not in a comment section. One night, months later, we were on my couch, her feet in my lap, Netflix paused. She looked over at me. Can I take a picture? She asked. You look cute. I smiled. Sure, I said. She snapped one, showed it to me. Okay to keep? She asked. Yeah, I said. Just don't make me a meme. She laughed. Promise. That was the whole interaction. Consent, respect, tiny thing, a world of difference. People online love to moralize my story when they hear it. Influencers are all narcissists. Men these days are too sensitive. Marriage is a joke in this generation. I don't think it's that complicated. Bella wasn't a monster. She was a person who let an audience get so loud in her head that she forgot the man she came home to was not part of the show. She started treating love like a content category and boundaries like bad engagement. I wasn't a saint. I let things slide longer than I should have. I minimized my own discomfort. I played along for views I didn't care about because I cared about her. But there's a point where you have to decide whose narrative you're living in. She pranked me by saying she wanted a divorce for a TikTok challenge. I signed the papers for real. Because in the end, I'd rather be alone in a quiet room than loved by someone who needs a camera to believe their own feelings. I'm not content, I'm a person. And I stopped letting anyone treat me otherwise.